best. I am your host, Ashley Owens, your personal networking concierge. And on the show, we talk to the power networkers of the greater Philadelphia, South Jersey, and all over the world area. I look a little different because I have got baggage now. Welcome, Mr. Mike Rabinowitz. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming off the street
to be here.
and just hanging out and joining the show today. For those of you who don't know, I will be shifting gears and actually becoming executive producer of this show. And this jabroni gives me a call and says, hey, do you want me to be a host and jump on, be a show pony, and do whatever I gotta do?
It's exactly how I put it.
It's exactly how I put it. And you shook your shoulders to do it too. Yeah. I think it's the whole bit. But yeah, man, I'm happy that you're here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited to help you out.
I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna meet our guests.
I'd love to.
I'm really pumped.
Who are they?
I don't know. Who do we have today? Other people we just found on the street? No. It's Shane and Taylor. Hey guys, how are you?
What's going on? Hey team.
Thank you for letting us riff for like 30 seconds as we figured this stuff out. You guys are the best. I'm so excited the two of you are on. I figured it'd be a nice convo to have everybody here today. So guys, you are the co-founders and managing partner of Reify Solutions. Can you please tell people who you are, what you do, and what makes you awesome?
Go ahead, Shane. All right. Are you sure? Yeah, absolutely. All right, fantastic. So my name is Shane Nelson. Who I am a proud cat owner, sometime chef. I love reading, and ultimately I love working within my why, which is connecting people to access and opportunities through bridging different resources together. And that's really what fuels a lot of the work that I do in the Reify side. So I'm the facilitator, the speaker, the kind of idea generator, and then working in tandem with the iconic Taylor Cobb. So Taylor, I'll pass it to you.
Well, I have the privilege of working very closely with somebody who I not only call my friend, but my husband and now my business partner. So my name is Taylor Cobb. I am a North Philadelphia girl, born, raised, and educated. I also brought my house in North Philadelphia, so I rep hard. I am a aunt, a cat owner begrudgingly.
Fair enough.
Because
Shots fired.
I love to cook. I am a person that helps connect people to their philanthropic goals as a fundraiser, and also the managing managing partner and co-founder of Reify Solutions, where we bring nonprofits equitable pathways to their missions.
Guys, you are doing such incredible work, but what I really would love to know, especially for people who don't necessarily understand the philanthropic. Thank you.
That's why I'm here.
Done. Yep, that world. Can you tell people when somebody picks up the phone to call you, what problem are they typically having?
In terms of nonprofits, organizations, they really aren't having problems per se. They're just having there is a need for enhancement towards an equitable pathway towards their mission. So it's like the challenge that has absolutely so many solutions is that they have this mission that has existed for 20 plus, 30 plus years, and they need to either make it more inclusive, more diverse, and put equity at the center of it. So it's just like, okay, there really isn't a problem with the person's mission, with their organization. They may have some behavioral changes that need to be had. However, we coach people through their behavioral changes, which ultimately enhances the way people exercise their missions. So they're just having a little bit of challenges where they need to enhance their mission, get more learning and development opportunities together, and ensure that we all get it together in 2021. So that's the way we approach our work.
So you guys are coaching other people to do all these things, to be able to manage this mission. Don't you have a mission? Aren't you a part of a philanthropic thing, a philanthropy thing?
I do.
Okay, cool.
I do.
Tell me
I
about
founded Givadelphia a couple years ago, which our mission is to connect young professionals to local underserved nonprofits throughout the city of Philadelphia.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
It seems like a good collaboration piece.
Some synergy here. This is great.
Oh, for sure.
So let's say I called you. What would be my next step in that situation? How do you work with other organizations to enhance that mission?
Sure. So we take an approach that's rooted in psychological safety, because we're working in an environment where there are all these definitions thrown around in the social justice education ecosystem. And so we demystify a lot of different things. We help people understand the actual scholarship around it and really like coffee table style conversations like this. And then we get people out of their own heads. So one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is this custom DEI OKR approach. So we have diversity, equity, inclusion on one side, where Taylor and I have our expertise and training. And then we borrow from the tech space the objective and key responsibility framework.
No kidding.
So you've seen Google use it with how they have Google Chrome being like one of the top browsers, right? So we set a very like streamlined objective and then all these different points underneath it to show people that it's actually really easy to take the steps necessary, the incremental steps necessary to achieve equity within an organization. So we sit down just like this, we chop it up, usually for an hour, and then Taylor, myself, and our team, we pick out the different elements that were named since we've been so closely in the social justice space, and then present you with your own custom DE&I OKR report, which could serve as a 3-year strategic plan. So you might say, hey, we're connecting with local underserved nonprofits, but we're not in the 19121 zip code. All right, fantastic. We'll connect you with our GIS expert, map it out for you, and then show you exactly what steps to take. Because right now, what we're noticing is people don't know what steps to take, and there's a lot of knowledge in the dark. And so we basically provide that light and have a basic conversation about it.
Yeah. And like just so that you understand like who we are as people, we're educators by design. So our first degrees or our second degrees were both in higher education. So in thinking about the classroom setting in anybody's actual college or K through 12 setting, the safest spaces happened when you were either one-on-one with a tutor or you're watching your teacher facilitate a conversation or a topic. So we take very much so a classroom-based approach with tutoring through our coaching, where individuals have really deep conversations and intimate conversations with us about their education pathway, while we have other group discussions with larger teams before or after we have those interpersonal communications with the individual as a whole. Because like any good exercise, right? You have to individually become better before you put your best self into your organization. So it really is a step-by-step approach.
That's I'm going to put that on a poster or a tattoo. That entire statement right there was brilliant. I've got questions, but do you have anything you want to ask? Because I feel like this is right up your alley.
I have so many questions.
Okay, good. I don't have to work.
Do you guys work project-based? Do we come on a retainer? How do you infiltrate an organization? Infiltrate sounds like a dirty word, but
many of which have been said on the show at some point.
Covert ops. So we start off any conversation with a potential growth partner. That's what we call our clients, right? Because we're growing together in this and we're partnered. We start off with a simple conversation. Say, hey, what would you like to see? Some people are like, give us the full menu. Other people are like, hey, look, we need the prefix or we need just a one-off session. We sit down, we build that out, and then we build out the custom solutions from there. So what we're really focusing on in 2021 and beyond are these 90-day sprints. So how much can we build out for you within 90 days so your organization can take off and get moving? We also offer annual contracts as well, but that's super high touch. So you get a lot of time with us. We have some annual clients who know our cats by name. They could probably like pick out our house and they've never been in it, right? And then additionally, we offer different keynote interviews or workshop facilitations for student organizations on campus. Because one of the things that we noticed was the standard keynote speech in this virtual setting just didn't really jive well with me, because Taylor's my speech coach. So imagine just like chopping it up with me about a specific topic, and that's the keynote for a seminar or a session. So it's in a kind of more boxed in frame, sliding scale approach, custom to the organization, and we're on their timeline ultimately because it's the solutions they need.
Taylor, I want to hear more about your journey as well, because Shane will talk your ear off, my ear off, Mike's ear off, in the best way possible because he's brilliant at what he does. Taylor, it seems to me that you and I are very similar because we attack things and we, get things done and we run operations and you run the show. He might be the ideas guy, but I want to hear your journey into this as well, because I think the two of you, first of all, make it a brilliant team with the fact that your skill sets are so great and diverse and changing, and you're able to grow, like you said, with your team. So take me through your journey, because I also think it's phenomenal.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to that question. So really, I started off in student affairs and development. So when I was an undergrad, I had a lot of mentors who really guided me in the arena of becoming a leader that advocates for social justice issues. So as an undergrad, I was literally working with the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Temple University, going up to the president saying, I don't believe in gentrification, talking with administrators about the importance of SSS programs. So at that point, it was opportunity youth programs to ensure that first generation college students get access to quality higher education. So it was basically embedded. Even before that, in my high school years, I was heavily involved with the Boys and Girls Club of Philadelphia, where I advocated for young women, particularly young women that come from urban settings, to get higher quality education and access to college. Because if you look at the statistical data of any zip code that has higher levels of poverty, you recognize with higher levels of poverty, you have higher levels of teen pregnancy, gun violence, all the systematic things and the things that are associated with poverty, joblessness, homelessness, etc. So even back when I was in high school, I was going up to administrators of my high school saying, what are you doing actually to ensure that women and children that are in poverty are not in poverty when they come out of your institution? So it was very much so ingrained in me. Given the fact that also I came from the arena where my family, we didn't have access to the highest levels of resources growing up. We were on food stamps. At one point, my parents had to sell everything to keep us in a private school education where we were on scholarship. So that is where my journey began. And in understanding my journey, we had the opportunity to become entrepreneurs in this space, where we were studying the sociological perspectives of poverty and inequality. And I said, people really need to know this. And it needs to be applied to higher education, and it needs to be applied to nonprofits who are serving these communities, because essentially, if you're not coming from that perspective, then are you truly ending inequality in your arenas? Are you truly stopping joblessness? Are you truly stopping homelessness? Are you truly stopping the racial inequalities, gender disparities? Are you really going at the core issue? And that's the approach that we come at, where it's just like, I'm not coming to be a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. No, I am coming to end poverty. Like, that is my core mission. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, that's yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. So Mike's a little shocked in the best way possible. Both of us, you can't see us in that way, but I kept looking over at him like, this is heavy. This is amazing what you guys are doing.
I have a question for you, Taylor. And Shane, whoever would like to answer first. How do you measure success in such a difficult and kind of unquantifiable situation, at least like month over month? I mean, I'd imagine that change is only felt year over year, decade over decade. So how do you keep going, and how do you kind of celebrate the little wins when you can?
The little wins within our business or with the organizations that we work with?
I'd say whichever way you'd like to answer. I'd imagine they go hand in hand. So if you look at, again, since we're approaching it from the sociological perspective, there's a lot of measures to how poverty ends, right? And that's how we measure. That's how we really look at how organizations can really infiltrate the cycles of poverty. For example, starting at the organizational level, let's look at how many individuals are empowered in your organizations that come from like typically marginalized populations, right? So we're looking at your board, you're looking at your staff, we're looking at your constituents served. Okay, so if you're serving your constituents as it relates to maybe access to healthcare, right? We're looking at the population served, their quality of access to healthcare, and then from there measuring how you are moving the needle towards giving them access to healthcare, giving them access to let's say homes, giving them access to leadership opportunities. How is the organization moving forward? For our business, it really is ensuring that our clients and our colleagues and our partners, they are moving the needle forward, right? I'm not going to work with an organization that just wants to put a stamp on the saying, oh, we did DEI. That's not for me. I can't literally work with organizations that say that I want to just learn. I want to work with organizations that have an intrinsic mission to end this cycle. And then as individuals, it's really just educating ourselves and keeping people around us happy, keeping people around us informed.
So Taylor, when we got to take a quick break, but I want to continue this conversation. This is incredibly important to have. So when we return, we're going to talk to Taylor and Shane about their mission and how they drive success and everything else that goes into it.
And what's next.
And what's next, because this is an incredible conversation. So thank you guys. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. I'm a TV show host right here on RVN TV, and I'm a radio personality on Business Talk Radio out of New York. I've interviewed many interesting people who have stories of inspiration and hope. As a certified life coach, I help my clients eliminate ineffective patterns of behavior so that they can formulate an action plan to help them meet their goals both personally and professionally. As an investment fund manager providing alternative investments to the stock market, and as a licensed insurance producer, I help my clients accumulate wealth. Work with me so I can help you personally, professionally, and financially. You can reach me by going to my website, drjacqueline.com, or you can email me, jacqueline@drjacqueline.com. Let's work together to help you be all you can be.
I'm Mike Rabinowitz. This is Ashley Owens. We have our guest Taylor and Shane from Reify Solutions here. We were just having an extraordinarily important conversation that we wanted to make sure, frankly, we continued.
Yeah.
I know this show normally is built into 2 segments, but I think
we can.
we're going to. There are new rules now as I enter the fold.
Correct.
And we're going to continue to talk about more important things. So, wanted to continue this conversation about your work with local philanthropies and nonprofits in the Philadelphia area community. What do you have going on right now? What's next for you? Any new announcements everybody should be aware of we can keep on our docket?
Oh, for sure. So what's next is our reimagined offering for folks called the Equity Table. And so imagine a space just like this, where you're having dialogues around equity and how to basically elevate your organization and move it forward, right? Because as we saw, as we shifted to the work from home lifestyle, tables became more than just spaces for congregation and collaboration and communication, right? It's where you ran your organization. It's where you sent those emails. It's where you tried to figure out, make sense of the world around you. And when you come to a table, right, it's a circle. And that's super important because we're all coming to the space with our own unique experiences and our own shared stories and narratives. And so how do we collaborate together and make that happen for our organizations as the world shifts and changes? And so the Equity Table is our latest offering for our new growth partners that are out there listening. Feel free to reach out to us. Definitely mention that you heard us on Connect to Success, so we can hook up, a little discount opportunity for you. But it's our offering for entry to mid-level leaders, student organization leaders, and also executives, because a lot of the vice presidents that we're working with and a lot of the executive directors or board chairs that we're working with are kind of nudging us and saying, hey, Shane and Taylor, if I'm leading all this, I'm going to need some time with y'all, just one-on-one. And so we have that option available as well.
Did you guys talk to Alex Kaplan from Of Substance? You guys are friends with Alex, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We love
We live, listen.
Yeah.
We need to get Alex just back on the phone with us in general.
Yeah.
We actually should be on their website because he reached out. We're a partner with them in a lot of the work that they're doing.
Yep.
But I also have to reach out to Of Substance in general because the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society tapped me as a Man of the Year candidate for 2021. So we're in that campaign now as well, and would love to have Of Substance in. So Alex, if you're watching this, just know that email's coming, that FaceTime is coming, bro. I see you.
He called me the other day. He's been a very close friend of mine for about 10 years. And so when you guys met at my last Cocktails and Conversation event, he reconnected us because he thought of something that would be beneficial for knowledge based on certain areas that you guys were exploring on. And so it's just so nice to see that. Also, Jared Fenton from
Reflect.
From Reflect organization. You know Jared, right? Jared Fenton?
I love Jared.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, of course. Okay.
So this is the community on the TV show right here.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I'm just so great.
And you know what's so funny? Yeah. We have 2 Alex Kaplans in our lives.
One's enough.
Is that funny?
One's enough.
Great. Alex, we call him Alex Square.
Oh God. So
have to introduce him.
I'm such a fan. Good. Okay, so you guys are in connection with a few of the people that I know that I just know, love, and trust. Can you tell me more about a couple things? So tell me more about who is a good introduction for you. So people that want to help you, that either want to get involved as a client or get involved as a good introduction. Who would those people be?
Yeah, those individuals are people who really want to start having deeper conversations about the way their behaviors and organizational behaviors affect diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how we can actually make systemic changes. Mm-hmm. So any nonprofit, even if you're entry level, even if you're at the executive level, even if you're a volunteer, you have identified a challenge with individuals interacting with your mission, and you want to change it. You want to be a part of the change in your organization. So go to theequitytable.com. We're officially launching our full website on April 15th, 2020. So you'll be able to see that because it is fabulous. Let's be clear. It looks so good. So you'll be able to see all of our offerings. However, sign up for updates. You'll be able to even see our team. We come with folks who are skilled very much so in crisis communication. Our skills have skills in counseling and communication. Us have skills in nonprofit development. So we're coming correct. Even HR, we're coming correct.
I've got a couple introductions for you there, Ms. Taylor. Lauren Williams and Erica Quigley both run a great organization, and she is an outsourced HR professional. I also trained her in how to find good speaking engagements, so she's just cool in general. She's not that low-key HR person. She's loud and in your face, and she wants you to know how things are. You'll love her. As I'm just rattling off people, but if you don't know, I have one more question. But if you have a question, feel free to interject here.
I would love to know how you've found your current client partners so far.
Nice.
So has it come through like traditional networking? Are you cold outreaching? Is it referrals? All of the above?
So our networks in Philly and our chosen professional family have done us so well over the last few years. So if you were in any networking scene in the University City area from like 2013 to like 2016, 2017, you probably saw like me and Taylor just like making those connections, creating value for other folks. And so we've been tapped into this amazing network of nonprofits, higher education institutions, and other social entrepreneurs. And so we've been really just growing organically. I know I'm getting out of my perspective around like utilizing social media because I'm trying to build a new expertise in it. And so we've just been finding clients off of the referrals from people. The newest wave of racial injustice last year really prompted a lot of discussion and reflection from folks. And when they reached out to us, not only to say, hey, we see you, we care about you, and then said, hey, what can I do? We were able to refer them to our services because we do this work. While it is draining emotionally, we just happen to be really good at it. And so it's the work that we need to do to move forward, and it's our way of giving back to the world, right? So it's just really been organic connections. It's been people seeing the website, and then it's been the connections we've made in different speaking engagements across national and international conferences.
So we're in the process of rebranding ourselves, literally creating more funnels, because what we have had the privilege of doing, just as Shane has mentioned, is that we were networking in the city starting like our sophomore year of college. So in terms of networking, all you saw was my curly-headed top bouncing around to happy hours, and then Shane's little fro with his very skinny. He didn't always have this beard. He had a very skinny.
It looks good.
It looks good.
All you saw was him like in these networking spaces, his suit and like all his button up his shoes and whatnot. So we were bouncing around, walking and whatnot. A lot of happy hours, a good time, and it was honestly a good time. I can't wait to look back into the networking space, back to the galas. So yeah, that's how we got a lot of our clients, and now it's like rebranding and relaunching, getting back into arenas like this, which is, again, we're so privileged to be here because it really does ensure that like we have more funnels and more connections with folks.
Guys, we got to wrap up, and I hate this because I had one more question, but we're going to wrap up in a minute. How can people find you?
So for right now, you can go on reifyphl.com. So that's REIFYPHL.com, or just reach out to me and Taylor on LinkedIn. We're always on LinkedIn. So Taylor Cobb on LinkedIn, you'll see the advancement professional with her fantastic headshot. And then Shane D. Nelson on LinkedIn as well. And so that's where we're at primarily. We're so excited to open up opportunities for new content manager roles, hopefully in the summer, if not the late spring. So more socials to come, but right now it's the website and our LinkedIns. We will reply.
Shane Nelson and Taylor Cobb, thank you so much for being here today. I think your message is incredibly important. I know Mike and I are already going through a list of people we would like to make introductions to now that we have a full understanding of who you are, what you do, and what makes you awesome, and the fact that you're changing the world. Let's be very, very clear about this. The two of you are changing the perception and the way that people are seeing not only injustice, but just differences of opinion, everything. You guys are changing and breaking through whatever wall, whatever ceiling, whatever metaphor you want to use. You guys are doing it, and you're actively doing it. And I think your voices need to be heard even more than they are now. I will do everything in my power to make sure that happens. I know Mike will also do everything in his power to make sure it happens. So whatever the two of us can do to help you, we will do it. So privileged to have you guys on the show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it was amazing meeting you
both so much.
Guys, if you'd like to reach out to Shane or to Taylor, please, please, please do. They are the nicest, kindest, most wonderful people I've ever met. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, my name's Ashley Owens, but you'll be interviewed by this jabroni over here. His name is Mike Rabinowitz, and he'll be here interviewing you about your tactical tips and practical takeaways in networking. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Yes, we will. It's wonderful.